Hey now, so I'm back. Same hat, same shirt as Frank Baker. That's because I'm recording Dave Bancroft, Mr. Beauty, right after because of the fact that it's my busy season, like I said. So I don't have time to record these during the week. So I'm going to film it now, drop it during the week. So let's talk about Dave Bancroft. So Dave Bancroft got in the Hall of Fame in 1971, a year before he passed away. A lot of people think he got in because of cronyism with Frank Frisch, Bill Terry on the Veterans Committee, and that may have been true. That being said, time actually has been kind. Sabermetrics turns out that he was a very good fielder. And so obviously fielding wasn't really measured in those days, with the exception of maybe like Brooks Robinson. So, but like as time goes on, they said, you know what, maybe he does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But that being said, he's a Hall of Famer, so we need to get his autograph. So let's take a look at Dave Bancroft. Dave Bancroft, excuse me. So let's go right here. This is I actually have 3 Dave Bancroft signatures, all from his playing period. One on the Ross Young's team sign ball, one on a team sign sheet with Huey Jennings. Then I have this piece right here I got from Jim Stinson for about $100, less than 5 years ago. There's quite a few of these Atlantic printing receipts out there. I don't know what their issue is, but like there's one with Ruth, there's one with Cobb. All the big names sign these release forms. And again, I love it. It's dated. You can see when it's received, dated. And this has a great vintage Dave Bancroft signature. You can see it's slanted a little to the right. You want to see those breaks between the D and the B. I know it's a little tough to see here. And something else to look for, especially in the vintage signatures, is you want to see the little loop right here in the R. He came around up with the C, looped around and back down with the R. As he got older, that loop kind of went away. Again, he lived to 81 years old, and he was always a great sider throughout. So, but again, let's take a look at the PSA database right here. So again, this is a more later letter here, but again, you still can see the break right here between the D and the A and the B and the A right here. Again, the loop is still there with the R going further on right here. Oh, this is a nice, this is a later in life signature. But again, you can still see it slants to the right. You can see the breaks between the D and the B, very common here. So again, we're going to come back to the plaques in a second here. So a good, beautiful vintage signature, excuse me, shouldn't cost more than $100. You can get, there's one here I want to get to. There's a beautiful vintage postcard here that sold for like $77 right here. This one, this sold like 5 years ago for $77, and it's gorgeous postcard. So, but let's talk about the most common forgeries, and that is with the plaque postcards. So let's take a look at the PSA plaque postcards, and this is an older one. I want to look at the other one. Give me a second right here. So let's take a look at this one right here, and I lost it, but we're going to put it back right here. We're going to come back. So in 2018, the family released checks, which were unheard of for him. No check existed. They released about 40 to 50 of them. And what's nice about these checks is we could see what his autograph looked like at the time of death. Because the plaque postcards, when they were signed, he had less than a 1 year window to sign these plaque postcards. Yet, there's a ton of them out there. Everyone who collects the plaque postcards wants a Dave Bancroft. He's definitely one of the toughest ones out there because of the short window he had to sign them. So, but a lot of them sold, but now it turns out many people think many of them were fake because when they released the checks, they did release a couple of signed postcards also. And all those that were released, and I want to look at them here. They have the new PSA, and they were signed at the bottom of the plaque postcard. So let's take a look at one right here. This, again, is on Heritage site. This sold last year for $3,000. And, again, this is a $100 autograph normally. And they were all signed at the bottom. But let's look at this one at the PSA database. And, again, he had only 1 year to sign this. Now, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, and I hope you could see this. I don't think this is real. I know it's got a TPA on it, but I think any plaque postcard where the D is not overlapping, it looks like almost like a node, like a lowercase n with an O. I think they're all fake. And I think all the real ones were signed at the bottom of the postcard. So again, we look at his checks right here, and all the D's are high. It's a high D. It starts high. It doesn't come up like a no, like this one does. You can almost see like a no. So again, let's take a look at some more plaque postcards. And again, these are all past sales. This is from 2008. You can see it looks like almost like a lowercase n and an O. I would not want to add this to my collection. Same right here. I know it's tough to tell. There's like an N and an O right here. It's tougher to tell, but I can't zoom in. And Ron Kay in his book estimates that 95% of the plaque postcards that are out there are forgeries. And you know what? I can almost see it. Because again, it's such a rare one. Now, here's one. Again, this sold in 2016, but I like it because A, it was signed at the bottom, and B, you see how high that D starts. It's not down, it's up, and it really doesn't look perfect. Again, he was 80 years old. This thing looks like it stand the test of time. Other of these look brand new. So just really be careful if you're out there buying plaque postcards. And you want to look for a signature at the bottom. You want to look when that was encased recently, because again, the family released about 4 or 5 of them, and I trust the ones from the family. And the best way to tell again is with those brand new PSAs with the shiny and signed at the bottom. So that's about it. I'm curious if you have a Dave Bancroft in your collection. Again, not terribly rare, very easily affordable. So next, I believe, is Ernie Banks, very highly forged, even though he signed a ton, 500 Home Run Club members. So we'll talk about that next. As always, keep collecting.